600 millimeters per second, 4 color printing right out of the box. AI camera monitoring, servo motors, a fully enclosed Core XY motion system, and all of it promises a hobbyist price. So on paper, the Creality K2 Combo sounds like it's coming for the crown of every other desktop 3D printer on the market. But we've been here before, haven't we? We've seen the high-speed marketing hype turn into high-speed spaghetti many times. So today we're asking the simple question: is the K2 Combo actually the future of at-home 3D printing, or is it just a very expensive way to make a mess fast? Big thanks to Creality for sending this for review. Let's get started by starting the intro. So this is the Creality K2 Combo. It's a fully enclosed Core XY machine with a 260 by 260 by 260 millimeter build volume. Under the hood, you're looking at a 300 max degree all metal hot end, a 100 degree heated bed, and a dual Z-axis rails. But the real stars of the show are the step servo motors, in my opinion. Unlike your standard stepper motors that just guess where they are, these servos are quiet, precise, and they give the K2 a level of control that usually costs way more than this. And then sitting on top, like it's got its own little place, is the CFS, the Creality Filament System. This is Creality's big swing at the multi-material market, and it gives the machine a serious presence on your desks. Let me also add, you can move it away. It's got a bit of a distance on the cable, and you can connect up to 4 of these for 16 color printing. Yeah, wow, right? They pack the CFS inside the printer cavity, which is clever and keeps the box size very manageable. Everything is labeled and you get all the essential tools, a spare nozzle, cutter's grease, and even a sample RFID filament spool to get you started. And the built-in camera? While not exactly cinema quality, it's perfectly functioned for monitoring your prints and catching those time lapses, but also the AI, pretty good at catching the spaghetti. Now, assembly-wise, it took about 15 minutes. You remove the transport screws, mount the touchscreen, sit the CFS on top or anywhere you have space, and connect the cables, the PTFE tubes, and it auto detects voltage, so there's no real flicking around with switches and praying you don't fry your power supply when you plug it in your home, in your country. The boot up process is clean, but Creality Cloud is where I ran into some trouble, which means we have to talk about the software side of things first, and specifically Creality Cloud. On the surface, it looks great. The mobile app is slick, though a little bit overbearing. The web interface is feature-rich, and the initial setup, well, you scan a QR code on the device, link your account, and you're technically connected. But here is where the cloud starts to get a bit foggy. It's supposed to be the easy way to print, but in practice, during my testing, it felt like a bit of waste of time compared to traditional methods. Not just the fact that it took an extreme amount of time to send from my computer to this device over the cloud, but the biggest issue was the Wi-Fi handshake. Connecting Creality Print on my PC to avoid the cloud was another big doozy. If you aren't on the exact same Wi-Fi frequency, even if you're on the same local network, the software just won't see the machine because the auto discovery process just did not work. I eventually manually inputted the printer's IP address while being on the same SSID, and then moved off back onto the Ethernet cable to the Wi-Fi on this, and it worked flawlessly. While the cloud features might work perfectly for some, I found myself retreating back to the safety of the classic local network printing. It's faster, it's far more reliable, and it doesn't leave you wondering if your file actually made it to the printer or vanished into the ether. With that out of the way, let's talk about speed. Creality claims 600 millimeters per second, and then in the real world, well, you're getting to live around the 300 to 400 millimeters per second, if you actually want clean results. But even at those speeds, this thing moves. However, there is a slight caveat. We need to talk about the hidden tax of multicolor printing, speed, or rather the lack thereof. This machine is an absolute speed demon. On paper and in practice, it can go fast when it's burning through a single spool. So here's the cold, hard reality. Every single time the printer changes colors, it has to stop, cut the filament, retract it all the way back to the CFS, load the new color, purge the old plastic, wipe the nozzle, and on average, a single swap can take between 90 to 200 seconds. That doesn't sound like a deal breaker until you look at the numbers. I ran a test on a multicolor model that would normally take about 10 hours in, well, a single color. With the CFS handling 400 filament changes every hour, that print time exploded to 96 hours. You are literally spending more time watching filament move back and forth through a tube than you are actually printing. This is a pretty small print. It's a beautiful print. So if you're planning a complex multicolor project, you aren't just measuring print time in hours anymore. You're measuring it in days. It's the trade-off of the convenience of a set and forget multicolor print. So during my 4-color test benchy, it printed stupidly fast, one color after another. And honestly, it looks excellent. We're talking sharp edges, clean layers, and lines, and no obvious ringing. The moment you go for something more complex where colors sit at different layers, hours turn to days. And then there's the reliability math. With your 4 spools loaded, you're essentially quadrupling your points of failure. Whether it's a snapped line, a run out, or a clog from slight material inconsistencies, there's just more to go wrong. Now, credit where it's due, the CFS is clever. It's designed to clear paths and verify you're using the right stuff, but it's not a miracle worker. Keep in mind, you can still single print from the spools within the CFS, using it to quickly print specific single color prints that are already spooled up. And this is certainly a time saver for those people who just print the same thing in different colors or are printing multiple of the same color and then need to change to another item in another color. So on that note, I threw a bunch of materials at it. PLA was crisp, PETG came out glossy and strong, and even carbon fiber PLA printed beautifully. One thing to note, ABS worked well with the brim, but remember, this isn't the Pro model. It doesn't have an actively heated chamber. But look, mechanically though, this is very, very capable and very highly recommended by me. Because those servo motors I mentioned, they are impressively quiet. It hums rather than screams, and I can sit at my desk and have it run in the background. Now let's talk about the CFS in a bit more detail. This is your multi-material hub, of course, holding those 4 spools at once. It's smart enough to read Creality's RFID tags, but it's not picky. You can manually set your own filament colors just as easily. The loading process is fully automated. It feeds, it purges, it wipes, and look, it's off to the races. What I love is the set and forget nature of it. Even for a standard single color print, you choose your color in the software and let the machine do the heavy lift. So here's the reality check for multicolor printing. It means purging. Every time the printer swaps colors, it has to purge the old plastic out of the nozzle. If your flush settings are wrong, you will generate what can only describe as a small plastic landfill behind your printer. So when I ran this high contrast print, I genuinely thought something was broken. There was just filament everywhere. I really mean everywhere. This is from this print. And there is way more here. It's not a mechanical fault. It's just how multicolor printing works at this level. Once I turned the flush settings to a different setting in Creality Print, the waste dropped significantly, but you must pay attention to this. It's not magic. Also, Creality, if you're listening, put a purge cage in the box. I had to make my own, which, you know what, never mind. I guess printing my own is probably part of the fun. Now, I need to be clear, the K2 Combo expects you to care, but you don't have to care as much as with other printers. Once you have tuned the print settings, consequent prints will be perfect. And when I look at this and I see the multitude of colors in one print, I cannot imagine how single color printers are anymore. Why would you single color print? This is gorgeous and the quality is incredible. And for the love of all things plastic, update your firmware immediately. Early versions of the slicer had some weird quirks, how they calculated those flushes. So the latest versions are significantly better, so make sure that's your very first step when you get this. So where does this sit? If you look at a comparable machine on paper, the K2 Combo gives you similar speeds, similar build volume, and multi-material capability, but often for a lower price. And that's where the K2 shines. This entire package is priced so well that it's hard to recommend anything else that's multicolored. So if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more home tech. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Creality for sending this for review, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye!